Most people die at 25, but aren't buried until they're 75. Think about that for a second. Somewhere along the way, they stopped dreaming, they stopped growing, they stopped fighting for more. They trade curiosity for comfort, passion for paychecks, purpose for routine. And slowly, they become a shell of who they could have been. But what about you? Are you really living, or just existing? Are you waking up on fire for something, or just surviving another Monday? Because if you're listening to this, it means there's still breath in your lungs, purpose in your bones, and time left on the clock. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? We're starting a powerful 5-part journey into what it really takes to rise from adversity, break through limits, and live with purpose. Let's kick things off with something that every high achiever, world changer, and difference maker has faced: setbacks. Now listen, there's a saying, setbacks are setups for comebacks. And it's not just a catchy phrase. It's real life. Every time life knocks you down, it's handing you a choice: stay down, or get up stronger than before. But let's keep it real, setbacks hurt. They shake your confidence. They test your identity. They expose your weaknesses. But what if I told you that this is exactly where true accomplishment is born? Not in your highlight reel. Not in your wins. But in your recoveries, in those moments when you land flat on your back and decide to rise anyway. From the ground up, the power of perspective. Let's break this down. When you fall, you've only got one view, up. And that's a gift. Because when you're flat on your back, you're forced to reevaluate everything: your mindset, your habits, your circle, your mission. You're no longer just surviving. You're rebuilding. And let me tell you, that's when you find clarity. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in resistance. You grow when the easy way is no longer an option. Think about it, nobody celebrates the person who never struggled. We connect to stories of transformation. We admire people who refuse to quit. So if you're facing a setback right now, job loss, broken relationship, failure in school, rejection, hear this: you're not broken. You're breaking through. The story of the labeled kid. Let me share something personal. There was a time, maybe like you, when I was labeled. I was told I wasn't smart enough. Teachers held me back in school. They said I didn't have the focus, or the discipline, or the potential. I was put in the back of the class, talked down to, dismissed like a statistic. And for a while, I believed them. That's the real danger of a setback, not just the pain of the moment, but the slow erosion of belief in yourself. The voice that whispers, they were right about you. But here's the plot twist: those labels only stuck as long as I agreed with them. The day I decided to rewrite that narrative was the day my life started to change. And that's what I want for you. Maybe they called you dumb, lazy, hopeless, or too broken to fix. Maybe they laughed when you said you had dreams. Well, let them laugh. Because the person who wins isn't always the one who started with the most, it's the one who refused to quit when it looked like all was lost. The comeback formula. Let's break down a simple truth that the most resilient people live by. You don't need a perfect start, you just need relentless progress. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you do need to start moving. And when you fall, get up fast. Not perfect, just fast. Fall 7 times, get up 8. And here's a tip: measure your progress in millimeters, not miles. Every day, you've got a chance to grow, just a little. You don't have to transform overnight. You don't need to go from 0 to hero in 24 hours. But what you can do is improve 2 millimeters, in your mindset, your habits, your fitness, your relationships, your attitude. 2 millimeters today. 2 more tomorrow. And pretty soon, you're unrecognizable, in the best way. The power of today. You know what's beautiful about being human? Every new day is a fresh shot. It doesn't matter how badly yesterday went. Today is a blank canvas. And you're the artist. But here's the catch, you've got to own it. Stop waiting for motivation. Start creating momentum. Don't wait for the perfect time. Make the time perfect by choosing intentional action. So here's your challenge. What will you do with your 24 hours today? Because if you waste a day, you waste potential. And potential isn't guaranteed forever. If you don't use it, you lose it. Bottom line, you're not done yet. Before we close out this first part of our journey, let me remind you. Setbacks don't define you, they refine you. Failure is feedback, not final. The most powerful comebacks begin with one simple act, getting back up. So whether you're rising from heartbreak, bankruptcy, rejection, or disappointment, you're in the right place. You're in your setup phase. And something great is on the other side of it, if you choose to keep going. Because remember, if you can look up, you can get up. We're diving into something raw, real, and absolutely necessary, becoming someone you've never been. Now let's get one thing straight. To achieve something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. Let that land for a second. Too many people want new results while clinging to an old identity. They want the dream without the discomfort. They want the change without the challenge. But that's not how growth works. The death of your old self. Transformation begins with letting go. Letting go of who you think you are. Letting go of labels you've carried for years. Letting go of the small, safe version of yourself that's more committed to comfort than to greatness. Here's a truth you may not want to hear. The person you are right now is not equipped to handle the life you say you want. Yet. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of it, it means you have to evolve into it. So if you've been praying for more, preparing for more, dreaming of more, understand that more comes at a cost. The old you has to die. Your excuses. Gone. Your insecurities. Faced. Your comfort zone. Shattered. That version of you who always chose the easy route, stayed quiet when they should have spoken up, settled when they could have soared. That version doesn't get to lead anymore. Comfort is a liar. Let's talk about comfort zones. They're cozy. Familiar. Safe. But guess what? Nothing grows there. Comfort tricks you into thinking you're okay, that you don't need to push further. But deep down, you know when you're playing small. Every time you hesitate to try something new, every time you silence your own voice, every time you avoid doing the hard thing, you're reinforcing the identity of less than. But here's the good news, identity isn't fixed. You're not trapped by who you've been. You're not bound by your past decisions. You're not sentenced to stay the same. You get to choose who you become. Who are you becoming? Here's your journal prompt, your mental fuel, your mirror question. Who do I need to become to live the life I say I want? And don't stop at vague answers. Get specific. What does that version of you eat? Read? Listen to? How do they handle pressure? How do they speak to others? What do they do when no one is watching? Because identity isn't a costume you put on in public, it's how you live in private. And every moment is a vote. Are you voting for the old you, or the elevated you? Now I don't mean the kind of belief that's all hype and no depth. I'm talking about the belief that's built, brick by brick, every single day. Because here's the truth. Your belief in yourself shapes your reality more than your skills, background, or circumstances ever will. And the crazy part? Belief isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. One decision, one risk, one micro win at a time. Belief is a habit, not a mood. Too many people treat belief like a mood, something they wait to feel before they take action. But belief doesn't show up when things are perfect. Belief shows up when you move despite the fear. When you speak up even if your voice shakes. When you invest in yourself when no one else does. When you act before the evidence shows up. You see, belief isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. It's like a muscle. Neglect it, and it atrophies. Work it, and it grows. Your job is to train it, daily. So ask yourself, what are you doing today to build belief in yourself? What are your routines? What are your affirmations? What wins are you stacking to remind yourself, I can do this? The root of confidence. Let's be clear, confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. When you say you'll wake up early, and you do, that's a deposit into your belief bank. When you commit to showing up for your goals, even when you're tired, another deposit. When you push past your limits, even when no one's watching, that's how self-trust is forged. Confidence isn't ego. It's not arrogance. It's quiet. It's internal. It's the deep knowing that you're capable, because you've proven it to yourself. You don't need a crowd clapping for you. You need to clap for yourself when you rise, when you grind, when you grow. The power of internal validation. Here's something that'll change the game: stop waiting for external validation. Waiting for approval is a trap. It keeps you chasing someone else's timeline, someone else's standard, someone else's version of good enough. But your greatness was never meant to be voted on. If you keep needing others to believe in you before you believe in yourself, you'll stay stuck. Real power. It comes when you decide, even if no one claps, I'll still show up. Because belief isn't about having proof, it's about creating it. Belief is being loyal to your vision even when the world can't see it yet. Dealing with doubt. Let's not pretend doubt won't show up. It will. It'll whisper things like, who do you think you are? What if you fail? You're not qualified. But here's how you fight back. With evidence. With memory. With discipline. When doubt speaks, you speak louder. You remind yourself of the things you've already survived. Of the moments you wanted to quit, but didn't. Of the mountains you already climbed. Belief isn't about never having doubt, it's about not letting doubt be the final voice. And if you've never heard this before, hear it now. You're allowed to back yourself. You're allowed to bet on yourself. You're allowed to win. Your words shape your world. Words matter. Speak carefully. Speak intentionally. Because your subconscious is always listening, and it believes whatever you say the most often. So stop saying, I'm not good at that. I always mess this up. That's just not who I am. And start saying, I'm learning this. I'm getting stronger. I'm stepping into more. Language programs your mind. So speak the language of growth, even if you're still in the beginning stages. Speak as the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. Belief fuels action, and action fuels belief. This is a loop. You don't wait until you believe 100% to start taking action. You take action to build that belief. Even if it's messy. Even if it's small. Even if it's scary. Because every single step you take, especially when it's hard, proves to your mind that you're someone who follows through. And when belief and action feed each other, you become unstoppable. You walk into rooms different. You carry yourself different. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for existing. You move from hoping to knowing. Proof over permission. Let this one sink in. You don't need permission, you need proof. You don't need permission to be great. You just need to prove to yourself that you can. So stop looking around, waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. Be your own proof. Let your consistency speak for you. Let your work ethic speak for you. Let your growth speak for you. And the moment you stop seeking external permission is the moment you step into your full power. We're leaning into something raw, unglamorous, but absolutely essential. Persistence. That one word separates finishers from starters, legends from one-hit wonders, and breakthroughs from breakdowns. Persistence is the decision to keep moving forward when every excuse, every doubt, every voice around you says, quit. Let's be real. Everybody wants the reward, but not everybody wants the grind that gets you there. But if you can master this one thing, persistence, there is nothing you can't overcome. Quitting is easy. Growth isn't. We live in a culture that glorifies the start, the launch, the new. But here's what no one posts about: the middle. The middle is where it gets boring, hard, repetitive, lonely. The middle is where excitement wears off and all that's left is your commitment. And here's the truth. Persistence is what you do when motivation dies. It's easy to show up when you're hyped. But persistence shows up when you're tired, discouraged, overlooked, and underpaid. It shows up when the doors close, when the views are low, when the results are slow. That's where the breakthrough brews. That's where real power is born. The myth of overnight success. Let's destroy a lie that's holding people back, the lie of overnight success. What you see as overnight is almost always the result of years, sometimes decades, of hidden effort. You see the highlight. You don't see the heartbreak, the rejections, the nights where they almost quit. You don't see the version of them crying in the car after failing, and then waking up the next morning to try again. That's persistence. That's what it takes. Behind every lucky break is a person who didn't break when they could have. Your breakthrough day is coming. Listen closely. If you don't stop, your breakthrough will show up. But you don't get to schedule it. You don't get to predict the moment the floodgates open. All you get to control is your commitment. What if your breakthrough is waiting on day 92, and you quit on day 91? What if the person who needed your gift, your message, your product, your energy, what if they were one step away, but you gave up too soon? Persistence means you don't stop until the door opens, and then you kick it down. Endure the hard seasons. Everyone wants to harvest, but no one wants to plow the dry ground. Hard seasons aren't there to destroy you. They're there to develop you. Every hardship is building grit. Every obstacle is making you sharper. Every delay is teaching you patience. Every challenge is refining your character. You cannot shortcut your way to depth. You cannot bypass the resistance if you want real growth. Persistence is your willingness to keep showing up in the storm, to say, "This won't break me. This will build me." And when you endure that season, you emerge stronger, smarter, and ready. Persistence isn't passive, it's aggressive discipline. Let's clear something up. Persistence isn't passive. It's not sitting around waiting. Persistence is active discipline. It's working when no one is clapping. It's creating when no one is watching. It's studying, improving, and evolving when no one is validating you. If you keep planting seeds with no visible harvest, don't stop. Keep watering. Keep showing up. Because eventually, roots become fruits. And the people who stayed long enough, they get the reward the quitters never will. Fueling your fire when you feel empty. What about when you've hit the wall? When you're exhausted, emotionally drained, burned out? You don't always need more motivation. Sometimes, you need reminders. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself who you're doing this for. Remind yourself what's at stake if you quit. Put your vision in front of you daily. Speak life into it. Reignite your fire not with hype, but with purpose. And if you need to rest, rest. But don't you dare quit. Even champions get tired. But they don't stop. The compound power of persistence. Think of persistence like compound interest. 1 day of effort feels small. 2 days, still small. But stack those days, and over time, everything changes. Your skill multiplies. Your influence multiplies. Your belief multiplies. Your results explode. Most people never make it to that tipping point, not because they're not capable, but because they're not consistent. They stop when it's hard instead of pushing until it's harvest time. Don't be most people. Ask yourself this: what if I don't give up? Here's the question that could shift your entire life. What if I don't give up? What's on the other side of you pushing just one more day? One more email. One more rep, one more call. One more post. One more application. What if everything changes, not because you found a magic hack, but because you refuse to stop? That's the power of persistence. Let me ask you something raw and uncomfortable, maybe even painful, but necessary. If you died today, what dreams would die with you? What ideas would remain unspoken? What books unwritten? What businesses unbuilt? What healing conversations never had? What gifts buried deep inside, never shared? This episode is about something more urgent than success. It's about legacy. It's about mortality. It's about the brutal truth that none of us have forever. Your time is non-refundable. We spend our lives like we have a balance we'll never run out of. But time is not unlimited. It doesn't come with a warning. It doesn't guarantee tomorrow. And the scariest part? You don't know when your clock stops. You've got 24 hours today. That's it. You don't own next week. You don't own retirement. You don't even own tonight. So let me ask. What are you doing with today? Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Today. Because the people who make the biggest impact aren't the ones who had the most time, they're the ones who use their time with fire in their spirit. The ghosts that haunt the dying. There's a powerful idea from author and speaker Les Brown. He said, "The graveyard is the richest place on earth." Why? Because buried in it are unfulfilled dreams. Psalms that were never sung. Books that were never written. Companies never launched. Ideas never brought to life. And here's the image he shared that stuck with me forever. Picture yourself on your deathbed. Surrounding you are the ghosts of your unrealized potential, the dreams you never chased, the talents you never activated, the courage you never used. And they're all staring at you, eyes full of fire, saying, "We came to you, and only you could have brought us to life. Now we die with you." That image. That truth. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Urgency doesn't mean panic. It means purpose. Let's be clear, urgency doesn't mean rushing through life, burning out, or hustling until you crash. It means living with intention. It means saying, "I will not leave this life full of regret. I will not play small just to stay comfortable. I will not die with my purpose still locked inside me." Urgency doesn't create fear, it creates focus. When you know your time is limited, you stop wasting it. On toxic people. On petty arguments. On jobs that drain your soul. On dreams you don't even want. You start cutting the fluff and living on fire. Live so fully that death isn't scary. Here's a new definition of success for you. Live in such a way that death has nothing left to take. That means using your voice, your gift, your heart, your brain, your body, your ideas, your influence, every day, to the max. You don't have to be famous. You don't need millions of followers. You just need to leave it all on the table. Live so fully that when your time is up, there's nothing left in the tank. That's a life well lived. No more excuses, it's time. I want to challenge every excuse that's been holding you hostage. I'm too old. It's too late. I'm not ready. I don't have enough time. What if I fail? You do have time, if you start now. You are ready, because growth comes from doing, not waiting. You may fail, but failure won't kill you. Regret might. Let this be the moment you stop playing dead while you're still breathing. Let this be the moment you flip the switch from passive to present. Let this be the moment you say, I'm done holding back. Every day you wake up, you win. If your eyes opened this morning, you've been given another chance. Don't waste it. Don't wish it away. Don't sleepwalk through it. Every day is a gift, not a guarantee. So treat it like one. Be bold. Make the call. Start the business. Have the conversation. Forgive. Heal. Launch. Love. Create. Give. Speak. Do the thing your future self will thank you for. Your legacy starts now. Legacy isn't built after you die. It's built while you're alive. It's in the way you show up. The way you treat people. The energy you bring. The risks you take. The love you give. The fire you carry. Your legacy is being written right now, through every word, every choice, every act of courage. So what will yours say? Will it say, they played it safe? Or, they showed up fully, even when it was scary? Will it say, they died with dreams inside? Or, they emptied themselves into the world? You decide.